All right, I'm thrilled to be joined now by my new favorite American, Canadian men's national team head coach, Jesse Marsch. Great to see you, Jesse. First of all, where are you? You look like you're in a greenhouse or something, some sort of wedding celebration. Talk to me. What are you doing? What are you doing?
I think that's about right. I think we're in some sort of Christmas venue here, but I'm glad that I could find some time to be with you, Jay. Thanks for having me on. And what a moniker you've just given me, a favorite American. Take that as a compliment.
Well, I mean,
okay.
Listen, we'll get to the success you've had with the national team, which has made you popular enough as it is. But what you said on Wednesday really resonated with a lot of Canadians. Did you feel compelled, Jesse, to say something on Wednesday?
I did. I had something prepared because after watching the hockey games, I figured that there may be some questions or what people who wanted to hear my thoughts on things. And look, I tried to say things from my heart and things that I believe in. And I've been dissatisfied with the treatment that Canada has received as a nation, the people. And I've, become more and more familiar with exactly what being Canadian means by being the national team coach and by the players helping me understand what it means. And then, by performing with this team and being part of this. So I was proud and happy to say something, and I would do it again if I was in the same position.
What kind of reaction have you been getting from friends, family, colleagues since you said it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of different things. Some people think that there's no room for politics in sports. Everything right now in the U.S. is so politically charged. And I'm not so sure that this is even so political, right? This is about nationalism and about respect for your neighbors and decency. And so, I think most people agree, even Americans agree and see what I'm talking about and understand that Canada has been a really good friend to the United States for a long time, and I think there's mutual respect from most citizens, but you just want to also see it honored by the governments as well.
Our mutual friend, Matthew Shinetti, soccer reporter extraordinaire, had a chance to speak with one of your players, Sam Adekugbe, after you spoke today, and I just want you to have a listen to what Sam had to say.
I think it was very well said by Jesse. And like you said, being an American himself, it just shows you the passion he has for our country. And I think as players, as people who's watched the national team in the recent times, you can see that passion he has for our country, and him being able to voice his opinion and his beliefs just helps solidify how much he means to the country.
I suppose that can't be too surprising to you, Jesse, to hear that kind of sentiment from one of your players.
Look, Sam is an incredible person. The entire character of the team is what I've described as flawless, pristine. It's a pleasure to coach these guys. They're committed to the national team and to each other at the highest level. I couldn't ask for more from them. It's just a pleasure to be the Canadian national team coach. So, in the end, all this still has to lead to our ability to perform, right? And when the games come and the lights are on the brightest, specifically with our eye toward the 2026 World Cup, we want to make sure that we've created a movement, that we have real energy behind the team, and that the team is good, like really good. And we know we're on a good path, but, in the end, that's what I care about the most is finding ways to make sure that these guys have the opportunity to show how great they are.
Speaking of that, Jonathan David has had an incredible season with Lille and in the Champions League, as you know, Jesse, and a lot of even bigger European clubs have expressed interest. Do you follow that kind of thing super closely, and how important is that to you that David and players of his ability continue to rise up in European soccer and move along with their careers to help the national team?
Yeah, Jonathan's had an amazing year, and he's scoring goals in bunches against all kinds of the best opponents, Champions League, Ligue 1. I've had lots of calls from big clubs, from people I know that are working at different places and asking me about him. And basically the phrase I've used is however good you think he is, multiply it by 2. because his real strength is his intelligence, and it's hard to really see exactly how smart and how smooth he is within the game unless you're really around him on a daily basis. But I think he's destined to go to a big club, and of course, I want these guys to perform and to continue to push the limits of the things that they can achieve in their career, and then what that will mean when they come back and play with the national team.
Is that the most challenging thing as a manager of a national team in North America, to balance your players' club's aspirations in Europe with the national team responsibilities across the pond? Because geographically, it's always going to be a challenge, isn't it, Jesse?
Yeah, yes, and my job is to keep them focused on what we do with the national team, but support them with their club teams. Now, I just spent about 2 weeks traveling around Europe and visiting a bunch of our players. The first stop I made was in Munich to see Fonzie. And, I was just checking on him to see physically where he was at and that he's going to be okay for March. And now he's played in a couple matches since then. But he was the one who told me at that meeting how important Nations League and the semifinal and the drive to the final and the drive to the trophy was to him, and how excited he was to help lead our team to a trophy. So I don't really need to feed these guys too much self-belief anymore. I think they do believe in themselves. I think the team has grown. A lot of them have been together for many years, and now they're starting to develop their own internal goals. Of course, I'm there to facilitate a lot of these things, but they believe in themselves. They know they're a good team, and they know we can be even better.
I want to finish with this. You mentioned you watched the Four Nations face-off. You watched the hockey. Have you given any thought to, a Nations League final that features Canada against the U.S., and are you prepared to send the players in to fight just as the Kachuk brothers fought us?
Well, yeah, I don't think we'd start the match out with 3 fist fights. I don't think we're allowed to do that in our sport. But for sure, I mean, look, you can bet on the fact that this group's not going to back down, right? They are prepared for this. They're excited for it. I think we've developed a lot in the last 9 months. We've shown that against the best opponents that we can be very good. We have the highest FIFA ranking we've ever had in the history of our program. And there's talented players playing at big clubs all across Europe. So, we're poised, we're ready, we're excited for this opportunity, and we're going to go for it.
It's an exciting time for Canadian soccer. We're thrilled that you're leading the charge. Thanks for joining us on the show, and all the best in the champions.
Thanks, Jay.